I do have a couple to choose from here, and we will decide which one sounds more interesting. But before that starts, I am feeling like I'd like to be chewing some gum. So I've got a brand new pack here. It's one of those big packs they're making now, and it's in a hard plastic case, and it's got 35 sticks. That's what it says. This is Wrigley's Extra Spearmint. So I'm going to break this baby open and chew on a piece of gum while we talk about an old magazine. So I'm trying to get this open. Okay, plastic is off, and now we've got this plastic case, and I must say, it does make some nice tapping sounds, and it smells very much like spearmint. So let me get this open and get a piece out. Ooh, it's like stuck in there. Ooh, let's see. There we go. Okay. So we've got our piece of spearmint gum. Okay, so let's talk about our magazine options. I've got 3 here. The first one is called Science News, and it is from November of 2012, so 12 years ago. It's a smaller magazine. Aren't as many pages in it, but it's got some nice reading material. So this looks like a good contender. The next one is one that I've done one other video on before. The Craftworks magazine from June of 1999. So this is definitely an option to talk about some summer craft ideas and whatnot. And the third option here is actually a new magazine. This is from just last month, June of 2024, and it is a cooking light magazine, and it says eat more veggies, and inside there are 77 easy and tasty recipes. So that's definitely an option too. If I'm being truthful, I actually purchased this magazine for the content inside. I'm trying to eat more vegetables, but I thought that it could also make for a nice ASMR video. But I must say, I think I'm leaning towards the 2012 Science News magazine tonight. So I have got that here in my hands, and let's crack it open. So it is Science News, and it says on the front, magazine of the Society for Science and the Public. Again, from November 3rd, 2012. Open it up, and there is an ad for a cell phone. It's an old-fashioned flip phone from Jitterbug. And it says, finally, a cell phone that's a phone. So, this is when smartphones were really, I guess they'd probably been big. I don't know. I can't remember. And then the kind of table of contents here. So we've got all kinds of different stories about humans and life, atoms and cosmos, body and brain, science and society, genes and cells, technology. So let's see. This next page here is a note from the editor. Prize-winning and prize-worthy science. Let's see what the note from the editor has to say. Okay. It reads, and this is from Eva Emerson, acting editor-in-chief. I don't envy the Nobel Prize judges, selecting the most deserving pieces of science to honor from decades worth of work across all of physics, chemistry, and biomedicine is daunting enough. Parsing it even further to determine which individuals should get credit for what's often a group effort, or at least parallel of efforts, seems even more problematic. Even if some quibble with the exact picks, saying perhaps that this year's physics prize should have recognized theorists as well as experimentalists, the Nobels serve a grander purpose. This is one of the few times each year when scientists and scientific accomplishments are celebrated with the kind of fanfare that movie stars get all the time, and shows like American Idol shower on unknowns. Science news editors have an inkling of what the Nobel Prize judges go through. On a daily basis, we must decide which studies warrant attention. Covering the Nobels is a no-brainer, but we'd rather not wait. Over the years, many stories describing research by the 2012 winners have appeared in these pages. We have written about, for example, Serge Haroch's studies of trapped photons, and some of David Wineland's work with atomic ions. A 1975 story discussed new insights into cell membrane receptors, including Robert Lefkowitz's results, and a more recent article focused on an opioid receptor study by Brian Kolbika's lab, and a steady stream of articles has documented progress on the cloning and reprogramming of adult cells into stem cells in an embryonic-like state that earned John Gurdon and Shinya Yamanaka the Medicine Nobel. Research by one of the economics laureates, Alan Roth, has also appeared in this magazine. Science news may not be a perfect Nobel early warning system, but it's a place where science is celebrated year-round with gusto. In this issue, there are a number of discoveries the Nobel Committee might want to ponder. News of a new planet found just 4.4 light-years from Earth in the Alpha Centauri system. The latest on the long-overlooked primary cilia and their surprising role in a variety of diseases. The discovery of quasi-crystals in an obscure meteorite shard, and degradable electronics. Okay. Let's see. I'm just glazing here through some of these articles. This page here, page 4, looks to have 3 short, just like paragraph-length articles that we can maybe read through. This says, say what? Solidon, a solitary wave that travels long distances without slowing down or changing shape, whether passing through Earth's atmosphere, plasma in space, or fiber optic cables. Solutions, all also show up in shallow ocean waters, and when two intersect, they sometimes form a new wave that's taller than the sum of the individual's height, called a non-linear interaction. This special merger was thought to be rare, but researchers staking out beaches in California and Mexico report in the September Physical Review E that solidons frequently combine this way around low tide. The team believes similar interactions may provide a powerful boost to tsunamis. Science past seeking camera. A camera that can see, quote unquote, what already has happened as well as what is happening may have provided the United States with information on missile bases in Cuba. Special photographic plates are sensitive to heat or infrared radiation, and the past presence of objects is shown differently. This is only one of the many unique photo devices developed for the defense of the United States. Aerial photographs taken before quarantine using a camera with telescopic lenses, probably at altitudes above 60,000 feet over Cuban jungles, clearly show launching pads and intermediate range missiles, obviously of an offensive military nature. See on this week's front cover of a picture of a medium-range ballistic missile base in Cuba. This last one is titled, How Bizarre Swooning Siblings. A new study of Australian twins reveals that one type of fainting can be genetic. Vasovagal syncope is the most common form of fainting, caused by a sudden drop in blood pressure in response to triggers like scary thoughts, seeing blood, or standing too long. Frequent fainting of this form, which would be 3 or more times in a lifetime, in both siblings, was more common among identical twins than in fraternal pairs. Samuel Burkwalkick of the University of Melbourne in Australia and colleagues report in the August 7th Neurology. No clear inheritance pattern was seen in the twins' extended family, suggesting multiple genes and environmental factors are at play. Okay, so this article is called Earth-sized planet found in Alpha Centauri. Nearest known extrasolar world is 4.4 light years away. This article is by Nadia Drake. Astronomers searching for Earth-like worlds need look no farther than Alpha Centauri, the stellar system next door. An Earth-sized planet has been discovered circling a star in the system just 4.4 light years away. The planet's mass is similar to Earth's, but its orbit is not. Tucked in closer to its star, 25 times closer than the Earth is to the Sun. The planet is likely a roasted world incapable of hosting life. Still, the discovery reported online October 17th in Nature ignites dreams of sending a spacecraft to the three-star system, perennial favorited interstellar target because of its location in Earth's celestial backyard. A rocky planet around Alpha Centauri, our nearest neighbor. This is incredible, says astronomer Deborah Fisher of Yale University. If you were going to send a spacecraft anywhere or a probe anywhere, that's where you'd go first. And if you have evidence that there are rocky planets there, you'd be insane to skip that target. The rocky planet circles Alpha Centauri B, a star just a bit smaller and dimmer than the Sun. But the planet isn't Earth's twin. A year there lasts just 3.236 days. Being snuggled so close to the star means the planet has a surface temperature of around 1200 degrees Celsius, notes astronomer Greg Laughlin of the University of California, Santa Cruz. It's utterly uninhabitable, utterly scorched, utterly un-Earth-like in every respect, he says. But a rocky planet so close Alpha Centauri b suggests there could be more planets in the same system, perhaps rocky and a bit further out in the area where life could comfortably thrive. I think that the odds that there's an interesting planet, a truly interesting planet in the system, are very high, given that this one is there, Lachlan says. Data returned from NASA's Kepler spacecraft, which looks for planets around a population of stars that mostly lie more than 600 light years away, suggests that multiple planet systems are common, especially when small, rocky planets are found in close orbits. There's a good chance that Alpha Centauri A, the bigger binary partner of Alpha Centauri B, also hosts planets, but because Alpha Centauri A is bigger, brighter, and more rambunctious, any small planets orbiting it would be hard to find. Previous observations indicate that there are no planets more massive than Neptune, hovering around any of Alpha Centauri's 3 stars, but those observations don't rule out smaller, harder to detect planets. The way we describe it is, the easy planets were all found a long time ago, says Sarah Seeger, an astrophysicist at MIT, led by a team at the University of Geneva. Astronomers detected this planet using HARPS, the High Accuracy Radial Velocity Planet Searcher. They weren't surprised to find it. We know now that these planets are everywhere. The question is, how big, how far from the star? That's what we are trying to characterize, says astronomer and study co-author Stephanie Udry of the University of Geneva. That will help us understand how they form. Installed on the 3.6-meter telescope at the European Southern Observatory in La Silla, Chile, HARPS looks for stars being gravitationally tugged by orbiting planets. Because this planet is so small, its gentle tugs pull only very slightly on Alpha Centauri b, shifting the star's position by about 50 centimeters each second. So finding the planet's signature in the star's wobbles meant the team needed to carefully filter out other sources of stellar variability, such as star spots, bulges on the star's surface, and gravitational interactions with Alpha Centauri A. It's a tough detection. There's absolutely no question about it, Fisher says. A detection that's as technically difficult as this one requires confirmation. Fisher is planning to conduct follow-up observations with an instrument called CHIRON, which analyzes stellar wobbles in a slightly different way. There's also a chance, at least 10%, but perhaps as high as 25%, Lachlan says, that the planet passes between Alpha Centauri b and Earth. If so, astronomers could watch for dips in starlight produced as the planet crosses their line of sight to the star. That's the same method the Kepler spacecraft uses to find planets, but Kepler isn't pointed anywhere near Alpha Centauri, so it can't do the job. Another orbiting telescope, Canada's most microsatellite, might be able to detect the planet's dark fingerprint and determine its radius, allowing scientists to calculate its density and probable ingredients. Though the planet isn't a true Earth analog, it pegs Alpha Centauri as a legitimate destination for a spacefaring probe to an extrasolar world, albeit one on the fringes of practicality. Even a cell phone-sized space probe accelerated to 10% the speed of light would be in transit for 40 years. It would also have to be capable of managing extreme temperature variations, remaining functional for decades, communicating with Earth from light years away, and orbiting a small planet close to its sun without becoming a stellar snack. If scientists did find a way to spy on the planet, what would they do? Take photos. You could imagine just zooming by and snapping a picture like Voyager, Seeker says. Study the planet's atmosphere if it has one, and its innards. Try to drop probes onto it, probes that wouldn't melt. Or, if the planet is locked in orbit with one side always facing the star, you could land on the dark side, where it would be a lot cooler, Seeker says. It opens imaginations, trying to think of how we're going to get there. Well, that was interesting. That was 12 years ago, so I wonder if they did put something into orbit and it's on its way there. Okay, the next page seems to be an ad, and it says, Chicago doctor invents affordable hearing aid. Outperforms many higher-priced hearing aids. Okay, this one we can do. Oh, look at this ad. This is called a human Neanderthal mating stated. Cross-species liaisons happened in later Stone Age, and this article is by Bruce Bauer. A new study suggests that present-day Europeans share more genes with now extinct Neanderthals than do living Africans, at least partly because of interbreeding that took place sometime between 37,000 and 86,000 years ago. Cross-species mating occurred when Stone Age humans left Africa and encountered Neanderthals, or possibly a close Neanderthal relative, upon reaching the Middle East and Europe in the latter part of the Stone Age. This is a team led by geneticist Siriam Sankaramana, well, I didn't pronounce that right, of Harvard Medical School. The new study published online October 4th in PLOS Genetics indicates that at least some interbreeding must have occurred between Homo sapiens and Neanderthals, Sankraman says, but it's not yet possible to estimate how much of the Neanderthal DNA found in modern humans comes from that interbreeding and how much derives from ancient African hominoid populations ancestral to both groups. A separate analysis of gene variants in Neanderthals and in people from different parts of the world also found signs of Stone Age interbreeding outside Africa. That study, published in the October Molecular Biology and Evolution, was led by evolutionary geneticist Melinda Yang at the University of California, Berkeley. Residents from Sankraman's and Yang's groups convincingly show the findings of a higher proportion of Neanderthal DNA in non-Africans compared to Africans can be best explained by gene flow from Neanderthals into modern humans, says evolutionary geneticist Joanne Cross of the University of Tübingen in Germany. Other studies have found that ancient interbreeding may not be necessary to explain the presence of Neanderthal DNA in modern humans. It may be possible that African populations ancestral to both H. sapiens, Homo sapiens, and Neanderthals possess some genes that became part of the genomes of both species. Sankarman and his colleagues measured the lengths of DNA segments shared by Neanderthals and present-day Europeans, since genetic reshuffling via sexual reproduction reduced the size of such segments over time. Lengths of Neanderthal-related chunks of DNA in people today can be used to calculate the time since those chunks entered the human genome. The researchers say that the mating between European Neanderthals and modern humans most likely occurred between the 47,000 and 65,000 years ago. That was interesting. I always think that kind of material is interesting to read about the Stone Age and Neanderthals and those kinds of things. We can read the second article that's on this page as well. It is called Feathers Hint at Neanderthal Art. Extinct human relatives may have had abstract thoughts. This is also by Bruce Bauer. Neanderthals may not have painted pictures on cave walls, but a new study proposes they had an artistic sensibility. These close Stone Age relatives of people regularly made personal and possibly ritual ornaments designs that included bird feathers. Neanderthals took a fancy to feathers on their own, several thousand years before encountering Stone Age people who also adorned themselves with plumage. The researchers contend in a paper published online September 17th in PLOS One that suggests big-boned, slope-faced Neanderthals shared with ancient humans a mental talent for using concrete objects, whether rock drawings or decorative feathers, to represent abstract ideas and beliefs, say evolutionary ecologist Clive Finlayson of the Gibraltar Museum and his colleagues. That conclusion is questionable, and the new study won't resolve a long-standing scientific debate about whether Neanderthals' mental faculties match those of Homo sapiens, remarks anthropologist Mary Steiner of the University of Arizona in Tucson. It's difficult on the basis of the information presented to float the claim that birds were a central and widespread prop in Neanderthal ritual, Steiner says. Finlayson's team first analyzed remains from 1,699 Stone Age sites, mostly caves in North America, Asia, and Europe, that have yielded bird fossils. Bones of large birds have often been found mixed with Neanderthal fossils at sites dating to between roughly 100,000 and 28,000 years ago. Examination of 604 bones from 21 bird species, most previously excavated at Gorham's Cave, a Neanderthal site in Gibraltar, revealed a predominance of wing fossils. Remains of at least 18 birds displayed stone tool incisions or breaks produced during feather removal, the researchers say. Neanderthals used bird feathers throughout their time at Gorham's Cave, which lasted from at least 42,000 years ago to 28,000 years ago. It looks like this article is continued, but it looks like it's continued online. So that's all that we can get out of this paper version, I guess. Well, I think that is a good stopping point. I hope that you are feeling a bit more relaxed. I hope you enjoyed reading some about science news. And I hope to see you back here again. I did order a book that is on its way that I'm going to start reading here. So I'm excited